Imagine a conqueror showing up at your city gates, not to burn it down, but to foot the bill for one of the greatest buildings the world has ever seen. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's the real story of King Croesus and the ancient city of Ephesus.
It really is a head-scratcher. How does an invading king become a city's #1 benefactor? Today, we're going to dig into how King Croesus of Lydia, who was probably the richest man alive back then, attacked Ephesus, only to end up completely reshaping its destiny.
So, picture this. It's 560 BC. You live in the powerful Greek city of Ephesus, and suddenly you're staring at the army of a guy whose name is literally the definition of filthy rich. This isn't just any king. This is Croesus, and he is right outside your walls. And let me tell you, Croesus's power was no joke. He ruled from his capital, Sardis, a kingdom just overflowing with gold. But he wasn't the type to just sit on his treasure. Nope, he used that cash to build a massive army and immediately set his sights on the wealthy Greek cities on the coast. And at the very top of his to-do list, the first prize he wanted to claim was the hugely important port city of Ephesus.
Now, the Ephesians knew they were totally outgunned. So instead of just giving up, they came up with this brilliant, desperate plan. The historian Herodotus tells us they decided to physically connect their city to their most holy place, the temple of Artemis. And we're not talking about a short piece of string here. This rope was stretched over a kilometer long. This wasn't a physical defense, of course. It was a message. They were basically saying, this city isn't ours anymore. It belongs to the goddess Artemis. If you attack us, you're attacking her. And this is where the story takes an unbelievable turn. Any other conqueror would have probably laughed and torn the place down. But Croesus, who also worshipped Artemis, saw this not as a trick, but as a deeply religious act. So he called off the whole attack and spared the city. But he didn't just stop there. He did a complete 180. Croesus went from being Ephesus's biggest threat to its greatest ally. He decided to pour his incredible wealth not into conquering the city, but into honoring its goddess on a scale nobody had ever even dreamed of. And when I say scale, I mean it. The brand new temple he was going to fund was designed to have 127 absolutely massive columns. And each one of those columns was 60 feet tall. To put that in perspective, that's like a modern 6-story building. This wasn't just a temple, it was a statement piece made of solid marble. You know, his donations were super personal, too. He didn't just write a check and walk away. He paid for columns with amazing carvings, he gave them golden statues, and he even brought in his own expert construction crews. And here's the coolest part. We have actual archaeological proof. Archaeologists found a piece of a column with the words, King Croesus dedicated this, carved right into it. It's an incredible direct link to this legendary moment. Okay, so he definitely reshaped their religious world, but what about the actual city itself? Well, this leads us to a pretty big historical debate. Did he also forcibly reorganize the entire city of Ephesus? See, on one side, you've got the ancient writer Strabo. He claimed Croesus literally forced everyone in Ephesus to pack up their homes and move down to a new city built around his fancy new temple. But then, you've got modern archaeology. And despite years of digging, they found zero evidence of this massive forced relocation. It's a classic case of the history book saying one thing and the ground saying another. So while we can't be sure about the city moving, one thing we do know is where the temple stood. And these old illustrations, like this one, get a big part of the story right. Geologists have confirmed that the Temple of Artemis was built right on the coast with its own harbor. It would have been a shining beacon for every ship sailing into Ephesus. In the end, Croesus's huge investment created a legacy that probably went beyond even his wildest dreams. The temple he helped build was so stunning, so jaw-droppingly beautiful, that it landed a spot on the most exclusive list in history, the 7 Wonders of the Ancient World. But here's the irony. Croesus's own time at the top was pretty short. Just 14 years after starting this amazing project, he got a little too ambitious, attacked the growing Persian Empire, and lost everything. His kingdom was gone, and Ephesus became part of Persia. But that temple, the one he helped build, it stood for centuries, long after his own empire had crumbled. Which brings us right back to that first big question. What was this all about? Was this conqueror genuinely moved by the Ephesians' faith, leading to a stunning act of religious devotion?
Or was it just the ultimate power move, a way to take over the most important religious site in the area, stamp his own name on it, and turn a house of God into a monument to his own incredible wealth? That's a question history leaves up to us to answer.